Hello everyone and welcome back to Victoria 3 and our Austria Ironman. We have, of course, just gotten a start on the Colonial game at the end of the last episode, so check that out if you want to see how that was passed. And we are starting to get some Austrian territories here, but 2,200 days before we can expand that is not great, especially when compared with our rivals, who, Denmark is going pretty slowly, but France and England both are very quick. So the way to get around that is going to be to go up to the second level of the institution of colonial affairs, and that's going to require more bureaucracy than we currently have, specifically 347, in addition to the 47 deficit that we currently have going on as well. In addition, we have the ability now to change laws again, but we're looking for something that has a decent chance to pass and is also important. So, for example, state religion has a 41% chance of passing, but we don't want to go back to state religion, so that's not exactly going to be it. In addition, we don't want to go to peasant levies, so let's just take a look. 9% chance of National Guard's a little bit too low for my liking, it's just going to piss people off. Interventionalism versus laissez-faire. 50% capitalist investment pool. I don't really want to go to agrarianism. 10% chance for laissez-faire is not high enough. Who's supporting this? Just the industrialists. That makes sense. Local police force is fine. It'd be nice to get public schools. Oh wait, we have public schools. Hey, look at that. Austria, man. Pretty good starting position, I have to say. A lot of potential here, assuming that we can actually pull it off. I don't want poor laws yet. Property women is fine. The next thing I really want is a medical system, but we don't have the ability to do that quite yet. So, alright. In order to get rid of our... the Venetia crop failure. 5 years, negative 80% agriculture or increase in expenses. Let's see. Let's do that. Should help keep down radicals, which are becoming a problem. We have no interest in the Ottoman crisis, which we could take advantage of this right now if we wanted to and conquer some Ottoman states. I've done that before, it works out okay. But I really don't want to do that quite yet. Let's take a look. Iron tools are expensive, low market access in all of our colonies will need to be taken care of. The way to take care of that is just to build ports, but we can't currently afford that, and we're really pushing it now. Cannot afford any more construction than we currently have going. Why aren't we getting more bureaucracy from those completed buildings? Interesting. Coal shortage in urban center. Yeah, we need more coal. Well, we might have to take a little bit more of a delay in the silk, rye, and livestock plants, because we need to get this up to 340. So taking a look at our buildings, we get 50 bureaucracy for each. That means we need another 8 to be safe. That's quite a bit. We're going to need some more paper mills too. This is sort of how this game goes. It's just there's always something else that you need, and never enough time to build it all. So let's go ahead and build a couple in central Hungary. 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm building a little bit too many, because it's better to have an excess of bureaucracy than a penalty. You get several bonuses like straight state construction efficiency, things like that. Now, there are other ways to boost this up. If we take a look at buildings, that's going to be going into government administration, and we could get standardized filing cabinets, but we don't have central archives. So central archives is... we're working on central banking. Central archives is right here. It would take us 30 months to get, and it would solve our administration trouble, but if we solve it the hard way first, then when we do that, we can spend on even more institutions. It sort of will snowball a little bit harder than if we did it all right now. However, we do need this as a priority, so let's go ahead and pop 2 of those up, and every time those finish, we'll pop more of them up. I want to work on other things too, but we need to get up to better colonialization as quickly as possible, or we're not going to be able to reasonably expand these territories, and we're not going to be able to keep up with the French, even the Dutch, in these places. Austria didn't have a great colonial game historically, and we are trying to change that, which means effort. That probably means we'll also need to research quinine relatively quickly. I think the Brits already have it. I'm really not sure. Yeah, this is we're trying to do a lot here, right? So it's going to be a little challenging. We're not yet able to do what I intend, which is to flood everyone with iron and coal. But I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. Prussia, in particular, doesn't have great access to resources. I mean, Silesia is a wonderful industrial sector, so we should already see, coal, iron, and lead mines there. Frankly, that would be the first place that we'd want to take, right? Cut off their industrial sector at the knees, and it'll be harder for them to fight us the second time around. But I'm not ready for that sort of aggression quite yet. Let's take a look at politics, and actually, here's a good question. So we need Hungarian in particular to no longer be discriminated against. If we take a look at Hungarian, they are discriminated. So Hungarian and European heritage. So let's look at Austrian, or South German rather. South German, not discriminated against. So European, German speaking. I think what that means is that we don't actually need multiculturalism. We need, that's the wrong one. We need, where is it? Oh, come on. So many options. No, not home affairs, not freedom of here it is. We need, shares of heritage, cultural traits. I think even racial segregation would, technically speaking, make Hungarian not discriminated against, because we would have, if we look at cultures, European heritage there, and European heritage for South German. So that would do it. I'd like better than that, because of course segregation is a moral evil, and I'm not a big fan of morally evil things. But sometimes incremental change is all that we can manage. So a little unfortunate there, but we'll do the best that we can. Okay. This is going fine. It's going fine. 113. This will pop us to 215. If I do the next group as a group of 3, that should pop us up a little better. I think we're getting some efficiency increases as we finish the coal, because we no longer have goods shortages, and that was causing a bit of trouble. Didn't think they used coal, I thought it was just paper, but I am human, I am often wrong about many things. So let's pop up 1, 2, and 3. That should be a plus 150. No, I can't count. That'll get us to 275. Let's just get it done. So that's 325. That should be 375. And then we'll need those. We'll probably need more paper right away. But, c'est la vie. Let's take a look at it right now in our market screen. Yeah, tool shortage ongoing. Wine shortage is going to piss off just upper class, which I really don't care about, but yeah, that's a lot of radicals. Well, this may be a short-lived Ironman if I fall to revolution. I don't think I will, at least not quite yet. Tell you what, let's only get enough government administration for what we need for right now. I really would like to get these ranches built, and the plantations built, wheat farms and other things, which will let us then build grocers without driving up the demand for cheap food. So of course, if we go look at food industries, this is what I call grocers, but food industries will give us liquor and groceries, both of which are good for appeasing the masses, but they do consume sugar and grain. Now we have a sugar surplus after changing some of our farming methods around, but it's only a slight surplus, so the buy and sell orders are pretty similar. Without the new farms, it'll be a lot of a problem. So, okay, let's go ahead and handle this. Railways will be very nice. We need to build those as quickly as possible. We don't have the industry set up for it yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And now we can go in, well, let's let the good times roll while we do this. Precision tools. Increase in tools right now we can't afford. But steel tools, well, actually, now we might be able to, because that'll increase our tool production. Paper mills will help offset the paper demand from government administration buildings. It's pretty nice. And I think there should be a couple of things in rural. Yeah, so we can go to slaughterhouses. which is good. Logging camps is fine. Alright, so our tally right now is negative per week, but that's driven up by really expensive things like steel, sulfur, and tools. Oof. Yeah, this is rough. Turns out playing the colonial game as Austria is, well, a challenge. I guess what did I expect? Okay, so we need to solve the sulfur problem yesterday. Best place to do that is Venice, so let's do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in industry we also need steel, which will consume coal and iron, which we still have a shortage of. Oh, okay, so let's go to southern Transylvania for 5, northern Transylvania for 5. And yes, it's a lot of factories. That is why I'm behind on my production queue, as I'm building a lot of things in a lot of places. But I think they're all pretty necessary, and we can deal with the shortage for a little bit as we get those ranches built. Now, it has caused a drop in the standard of living. That's what's driving up the radicals, but as soon as we solve this, it should drive it back down a little bit, and we can maintain, because we had a positive earlier, we can maintain a bit of a deficit for a little while without it becoming too much of a problem. The most important thing is getting these done and starting to build other actual factories while we increase the speed of our colonization in order to keep up with our rivals. France is going to be a bit of a challenge here, and, well, frankly, in both sections. The nice thing is we don't have any competitors, it looks like, for right now, in the farther south section of Igbo and Fang. So that's pretty nice, and it looks like, yes, this has gone up as we have solved a couple shortages. Bureaucracy should spike. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay in seeing the new bureaucracy. States in turmoil is to be expected. Expensive government goods. Yeah. So we do need to build ports here as well in case there's a colonial crisis, because if we don't have any ports, we can't send troops to a front. If we can't send troops to a front, we can't resolve the crisis, so that is pretty necessary. But there's just not space for it right now. If we have a crisis, we may have to back down. That's okay, we're not getting all that much progress anyway, and the losses wouldn't be huge. We'd have to restart an already slow colonization. But we have enough right now, we can spike up to level 2 colonial affairs, which will double the rates of colonization here, and maybe actually be able to get us a colonial empire of sorts. So far so okay, and wow, that's a lot. Oh, so okay, this is what's happening. Our temporary national expenses have not gone down, simply we're starting to get investments from capitalists. So they're paying for our construction of non-governmental buildings. Intensive agriculture, this is from passive technology gain, but it does allow us to increase the soil-enriched farming. This will put a strain on fertilizer, which we don't have any of yet. Oh, which means we need to build more things, because we need fertilizer. That has, geez, just dropped us like a rock. But it also makes our farms more effective. So iron and sulfur for fertilizer plants is fine. We'll be able to handle that. I don't want to build more in Venice right now because we already have a lot going on there. Let's go to East Galicia because I don't think I've built a lot in that section, and we'll be able to specialize thereby. Okay, so tools workshops coming through. We have a shortage of paper. You know what, let's solve the paper shortage through trade if we can. British market should be fine, and we can also do, well, no, that's alright for right now. I know, we're importing the things that I had wanted to export, but we need them. Let's get this from the British market as well, and let's get some steel. And as we build up our own capabilities, these trade routes will become unproductive, and then we'll stop the trade. So, okay, Prussia's going to be helping us out, but I mean, they can do it without requiring convoys, so that is pretty nice. This is helping our economy, at least a little. Hardwood, really. So what it's taking is, it's taking bureaucracy, so we do have to be careful about that. I think it's about as much as we can afford without dropping below the requirements for second level colonization, which this builds up slowly, by the way. We have about 41 weeks before it is completely adopted, and over that course of time it will decrease to it. So we could get better law enforcement, we could also get better education in the meantime, but as soon as I click that, we'll have to build more administrative centers, and we can't afford that right now it would slow us down too much in getting other things going. So choices, and all that. My concern is if I do this and it drops me under the bureaucracy requirements, that'll be an issue. I don't think it will, though. Let's go ahead and import those from America. That's fine. Less of a deficit there is very important to us right now. Geez. Unproductive trade, paper from British. Interesting. Power of the purse. 10 naval base, max level. Let's take a look at that. I'm not sure if we want it right now. So that's a naval base here. Not much of a change, honestly, and it does increase our naval performance. So I guess we'll take that. We could probably do... well, no. It looks like we could do more, but we still are being subsidized by the capitalists in our nation, so we actually can't. Because as soon as that pool runs out, or should things change for the worse, then we would be very much in trouble. 12% radicals is pretty high. That is going to be something we're going to have to focus on. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that right now, as this is all we've got for you guys today. So thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.